Hello, my name is France and welcome to my channel. For this video, I actually want to do a quick challenge wherein I would try out the favorite books of my favorite YouTubers. So my two absolute favorite YouTubers are actually LarryReads and Sarah Carolli. So these YouTubers, I really follow them both in TikTok and YouTube. I have been following their videos for the longest time. I watch all the reading vlogs, the recommendation videos, and honestly they're my inspiration for doing a YouTube channel, for doing this booktube channel, and being a booktuber actually in general. They inspire me to like just share my thoughts on books in general, because I don't know, it just feels like, you know, the way they make other people happy, just sharing their thoughts. I want to also do that. So anyway, outside of that, these two booktubers that I absolutely love, Sarah and Larry, are actually romance girlies. So they mostly read romance books. And I've covered this in another video of mine, but I am actually a newbie in the romance category or in the romance genre. So I just started picking up romance during the pandemic, and right now I am so into it. My main genre is fantasy, but nowadays I find myself wanting to pick up romance. So because of that, I don't really have a lot of romance genres that I've tried out so far. They're usually very standard. For example, Ali Hazelwood, Lauren Asher, those types of romance books. Even Emily Henry, those are my top favorite one. But I know there's a lot of other genres within the romance category that I have yet to try out, and I feel like this is the best opportunity to do it, because these two favorite YouTubers of mine, the series that I think they raved so much during their vlogs, are actually covering romance genres that I've never tried out before. So the first YouTuber, Sarah Carolli, favorite series / book, I decided to pick one that she raves so much about in her vlogs, even in her posts in her TikTok videos, and that is Flawless by Elsie Silver. Actually, she raves so much about the Chestnut Spring series in general, but since, you know, I've never tried any of the books in that series, I decided to go with book 1, which is Flawless. And this book actually falls under the small town / cowboy romance genre. So this will be my first ever cowboy romance book, and I am so excited to try it out because I've never tried, and I heard so many good things about this book. It's actually not just Sarah who raves about it. A lot of other booktubers like Destiny and even LarryReads also rave about this series, the Chestnut Spring series, and I'm so excited to try this one. Now next up is for LarryReads, the book that I think she really raves about more recently in her vlogs is God of Malice by Rena Kent, or most specifically the Legacy of God series by Rena Kent. So again, I have never tried anything from the Legacy of God series, so I decided to go with the first book, which is this one, the God of Malice. And this falls under the dark romance category, and believe it or not, I have actually never tried a dark romance book. At least I don't think I have, because the other mafia books that I've tried out, I don't think they're that dark, so I don't think they're supposed to be a dark romance book. Anyway, so if ever those mafia romance books that I've tried before are not considered dark romance, this will be the first dark romance that I will read, and I am absolutely excited because Larry raves about this, not just in her vlogs but also in her TikTok videos. And I think I saw a recent ranking that she did from all the romances that she read this book, and I think she rated this like super duper top, and I don't know, I'm just really excited to read this one. So again, for this video, I'll try out these two books from my favorite YouTubers, and I will give you guys like quick thoughts. I'll try to make it spoiler free also, so for those of you who want to try them as well, you guys can do that. And so that's really it. I'll catch you guys up later. Hi, I'm currently reading Flawless by Elsie Silver. I am currently on page 85, and I must say, at the beginning it was a bit touch and go because, I don't know, I just never liked macho main characters, like male characters. I was never really a fan of like macho, I'm like such a very serious person, male characters. And at first, Rhett, the main character who is also a cowboy, was basically giving that vibe. So if you guys didn't know the whole story, at least the premise of this is Rhett is a cowboy who was starting to lose his sponsors because of some offhand comments he made, not knowing he was being recorded. So in order to kind of salvage his image, his PR guy, I don't know if I should call him manager, but his PR guy basically sends his kid. So his PIC, or his PR, or the person who handles Rhett's PR, has a daughter around his age who just recently graduated law school, and she just started working in her dad's PR firm, and she was given the task to kind of rein in Rhett, since they were trying to salvage his reputation and trying to salvage his sponsors that haven't dropped him yet. So they sent what's her name? Summer. So Summer is the daughter of the PR in charge of Rhett. And she's basically tasked to quote-unquote babysit him, just to ensure that he doesn't have any offhand comments anymore, he doesn't do anything else that would further flush down his reputation, right? And during the first few chapters, Summer, I honestly liked her. Like, she has a very boss babe vibe, but also very girly. Like, imagine Elle Woods, but a bit more serious Elle Woods, or a bit more aware Elle Woods, if you get what I'm saying. So that's the vibe that I'm getting from Summer. Rhett, however, first few pages, I was getting more of like the macho cowboy vibe who doesn't care what anyone thinks. But there's a certain point in the last few pages I read, like around page 70 to 80, wherein you kind of get a glimpse of the inner monologue of Rhett, outside of being stressed about his sponsors. So some of his brothers, because he has brothers in here also, and Summer actually goes to their town, Chestnut Springs, which is the title of the series, Chestnut Springs series. So the whole story is that Summer, in order to quote-unquote babysit him, actually goes to his town, and then lives with their family, Rhett's family. And she meets his brothers, and I don't know, I think I was wrong about Rhett, because they provide some information of Rhett that made me double take, that made me think, oh, maybe he's not as 2D as he looks like, or as he read like in the past few pages. So he is slowly, there is a confrontation scene that I just read between Rhett and Summer, because the whole time Rhett was kind of mad at Summer, or like just pissed off that somebody technically needs to babysit him. He's like a grown 30-year-old man, and another 30-year-old woman will technically babysit him, and that's just kind of weird, right? But there's this confrontation scene between the two of them, and it's not really confrontational, like nobody gets mad, but he kind of shows his other side, like his softer side, and he shows why exactly he's pissed off, and you kind of get it from his point, and he kind of sheds away his macho mask or something like that. So I don't know, that changes my view of Rhett, and I feel like this is something that I will actually like. So first few pages I was like, I'm not sure if I really like this, maybe this is a bad decision, I don't get the hype. But now after that scene I was like, oh, maybe I do get why Sarah likes this, and I actually want to purchase the rest of the series already, just from reading that scene alone, because I actually found myself like smiling and like putting my hand on my chest, like while reading that scene, right? So I don't know, having that visceral reaction to a scene, I feel like it's a good indicator of how good of a time I will get by reading the rest of this book and maybe the rest of the series. So I'll keep you posted, but so far I think it's going great. I'm really excited to see how the story goes. quickly update you guys. I just finished Flawless by Elsie Silver, which is the first book in my book challenge for this video. And I must say, this is such a surprise. Like, it's such a surprise how much I like this book. I rate this 4 stars, and I'm reading this because this is one of the most recommended books or series from Sarah Carolli. I think that I will forever place my trust on Sarah Carolli's recommendations after reading this book. So, just to give you a rundown, this book is about Rhett and Summer. Rhett is this cowboy who recently had a scandal, and because of this scandal, he started losing sponsors. So now Summer comes in. Summer is actually a PR person from Rhett's PR company. Basically, the the company who's handling Rhett's reputation, Rhett's endorsements, Rhett's sponsorships. So Summer is actually the daughter of Rhett, the cowboy's main PR guy, and she is tasked to quote-unquote babysit him all throughout his tour, his cowboy tour. So they have this kind of like basically like the NFL or like a league, right? So he's gunning for the championships this year, and basically Summer has to follow him on tour and become his babysitter, and that means that she has to keep him in check all the time, make sure that he doesn't say anything out of line anymore, make sure that he stops losing sponsors and he keeps the ones that stayed with him, and basically just making sure that he's not messing up, right? So Rhett certainly has a reputation around him already. So Summer comes in with kind of like a very wary attitude, knowing that he has this reputation. So along the way, of course, they fall in love, since this is a romance book. You guys know the drill. It's a basic romance formula, right? But then I think what really carry this is the characters, the main characters most specifically. So Summer, from the get-go, I really love her. I love her characterization here. She's such a boss babe. She's a girl boss all the way. So I don't usually like in-your-face girl bosses, but Summer, I liked her from the get-go. And the reason why is because although she is quote-unquote a girl boss, so she basically is the daughter of the owner of the PR firm, right? And also she studied law, so she's basically a lawyer, right, who works in PR. And she is kind of known as like a workout freak. Like, she really likes working out. She's a gym rat, basically. That's the kind of girl boss vibes that she's exuding from the very first few chapters. However, even though she girl bosses very hard, she doesn't hesitate to show her feminine side. So she still wears like skirts, like her description is like she's still wearing skirts, she's still wearing heels, she likes wearing them, she likes wearing gym clothes that are very effeminate. Also, she's not afraid to show her emotions. She's not afraid to quote-unquote people please, because people pleasers get bad rap because everyone's now gunning for like, oh, you need to think about yourself, etc. In this book, Summer is basically like, I'm a people pleaser, I know it, and that's not bad at all, as long as I don't hurt anybody. The thing is, I really care about what other people think, and I want to care about what other people think, and that's me and my personality. So if you guys don't like that, then just go away, right? So I really love that for her. I really love that she's not afraid to show that she cares about the people that she does care about, and that the opinions of the people around her really matter to her. I think that takes a certain kind of courage, and that's a very different take of like girl bosses, and I really love it. I really love her character from the get-go. And Rhett, I must admit that from the first few pages I was kind of iffy about him, because his whole characterization, at least from the first few pages, right, felt like he was gonna be macho all throughout. He was gonna be like this bad boy with a bad rep, and who gives a fuck all attitude. Like, he doesn't care about what other people think about him, which is like kind of like the main vibe from the first few chapters ongoing, right? Like, there's this girl who really deeply cares about what other people think, and she basically works in PR, which is basically a job that ensures you need to think about what other people think. And then there's this guy who does not care at all about what other people think. He does not care about the consequences, and then they have to get together. And that's like the main conflict or push and pull that's happening at the beginning. And I honestly was very iffy about Red because of that, because I just never skew towards those kinds of characters. Like, I feel like very careless characters and very bad boy 2D vibes characters are not it for me. Like Red gave off a very two-dimensional character bad boy stereotypical vibe. And I didn't like that. However, a few chapters in, there's a certain part around page 80 or page 90 wherein they actually kind of started opening up. We got to know Red's family, and then Red and Summer started talking to each other actually, and just sharing random things with each other. And I think that's when we started getting a glimpse of the real Red outside of the reputation that he has right now. And I was a goner because Red is actually a very soft boy. And you guys, if you have been hearing about my reviews from other books, you know I'm a gunner for soft boys. I love soft boys in books. They're my favorite type of male lead characters. So we find out that Brett is actually a soft boy deep inside. He basically, you need to read it, but you find out that he really cares. He really does care about everything, and he's actually very polite to girls. He's overly polite, and that's where he gets his reputation from, because he doesn't really play around with girls, but then he also does not project them because he doesn't want to be rude to them. And that's why a lot of bad press is going around him, because they think that something is happening with all the girls that he was polite to. And honestly, I think that's the one that really got me, and that's the one that really made me go, wait a minute, this is different. This is a very different take on this bad boy situation, and I freaking loved it. And then added with the fact that the family situation of Red is so damn interesting. Like, it makes me want to buy the rest of the series, because I want to know what happens to the other brothers. I want to know what happens to Jasper, the best friend. I want to know what their story is going to be like. I even want to know what happens to their dad. Like, there's a certain part in this book where you get a glimpse of what will happen to the dad, and I'm like, give me more. I want to know what happens. So honestly, I'm giving this 4 stars only because I feel like there are some conflicts that weren't resolved fully, especially from Summer's end. So from Red's end, totally cool with that. Like, I super love it. I know more will come later in the rest of the series, because I think it really focuses on the different brothers. But then from Summer's end, knowing that the rest of the series will only focus on the other brothers, I'm not sure why they didn't close out Summer's conflict with her family here. So that just confused me. That's why I'm giving it a 4 stars. But honestly, it's not that deep. I super fell in love with this book to the point that I actually want to buy the rest of the series. I actually have them in my Amazon cart right now, and I feel like this is a series that will become like a staple romance series in my recommendation list as well. So thank you so much, Sarah, for recommending this book to everyone who watch your channel, because I think I found a really good romance series out of it. Since I'm done with Flawless, the second book that I will be reading for my book challenge is God of Malice by Rena Kent, which is actually a recommendation coming from LarryReads, one of my other favorite YouTubers, and she really talks about this series, the Legacy of God series, a lot, not just in her YouTube videos but also in her TikToks. So I'm very excited to read this. This is actually the first time I will be reading a dark romance, so I'm not sure how it will go, but I mean, this was also the first time I read a cowboy romance, and it went great. Like, I super love this book, so I have really high expectations for this. Maybe I'll try to temper it down so as not to like skew it, but I am looking forward to this, and I will update you guys while I'm reading. Besties, I am like in the first 15 pages of God of Malice by Rena Kent, and I think this might not be my cup of tea. Like, I don't know what to say. I don't think I will like this. Like, I don't know. I really want to give it a chance. I really do want to give it a chance. Okay. Again, this is a book challenge. I really want to complete it. I will follow my favorite YouTubers' recommendations. However, it's very intense. Okay. Again, just like what I mentioned before, this is my very first dark romance book. I have never read any dark romances before, so like the first, oh sorry, I'm on page 38 already, backtracking back. I'm on page 38 already, and I'm not sure. I'm on like the first few pages. I'm not sure I even want to continue. I think it's really just not my vibe of a book, of a romance book even. And I always promise myself that I will give a book up until page 100 to give it a chance, and if I still don't like it and if the story still does not intrigue me, I will stop. Okay, let me let me just make something clear. I don't think this is a bad book. What I'm only saying is that I don't think this is my type of book. I don't think this is my cup of tea. I don't think this is my jam. I don't think this is my vibe. And I don't want to discount dark romance genre in general. Maybe just this book in particular. I know there are a lot of really good dark romances out there from recommendations from other people. However, for this book in particular, it's just a lot as a newbie in dark romance. So I don't know, there are trigger warnings though, so if this is something that you will read, you might want to check first the trigger warnings before you proceed, maybe in all dark romances and in all books that you will read in the future. But yeah, I don't know what to say. I will still continue. I will still try until page 100 for this book, because again, I am doing a reading challenge, so I will still try to see if it will get to my jam later on, if it will get to my vibe later on. But as of now, as of the first few pages of this book, I'm like shocked, and I'm not sure I want to continue. I am trying so hard to like this book. Okay, I'm trying to give it a fair chance, but I am trying to give it a fair chance. Okay, I'm trying so hard, but then I read a scene wherein he starts calling her baby, and I'm like, that's like a pet peeve of mine. Okay, again, this is everything that I will say is preference. I'm not saying anything is bad about this book, but like the further I go on, the further it's cementing in my head that this is not the type of book for me. Like, nothing against the book, nothing against the author, nothing against even like the writing style of the author. And there's nothing bad per se. It's really just not my type of story. And then he starts calling her baby, and I'm like, I'm so close to my final straw. But I did promise to give it until page 100, to try it out until page 100, because I truly believe in anything that LarryReads recommends. Okay, I love LarryReads, and if she says this is a good book, there must be a reason why. Okay, and maybe after 100 pages I realized that the reason is not something I will be able to find out, because it's not my type of book. But that's okay. Okay, I'm just trying to like see if this is my taste. Again, I'm trying out not just the favorite books of my favorite YouTubers, but also new romance genres, and this is a completely new romance genre for me. Maybe I shouldn't have started with this, I don't know, but I'll give it until page 100. But then I just really needed to like just when I read the moment he called her baby, I was just like, I really shut the book, and I was like, I can't, I need a breather. Okay, I just need to breathe. I just need to like whew, before I continue this, because somebody calling a significant other, okay, somebody calling a significant other baby in a book, even in real life, okay, just irks the life out of me. I just can't, and it's a personal peeve of mine. Okay, nothing against anybody who's called a baby or anybody who calls somebody else a baby. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. Sorry, but yeah, I'll still give this a chance. I'll give it until page 100 before I stop. I don't know, man. I don't know. Hey guys, just want to catch up with everyone. I wasn't actually able to video for the past week because I was sick. I still am. I was diagnosed with upper respiratory tract infections. There's apparently a virus going around right now, so please do take care of yourself. But yeah, I haven't been able to do anything but sleep and cough for the past week. I wasn't even able to go to work at all. Honestly, I don't consider it as vacation because I really just spent all my time resting, sleeping, coughing, and just basically dying. But yeah, finally that's behind me, and so I will be able to continue my reading vlog. And I don't know if you guys also noticed, but my voice is quite different. Again, I still have some coughs and colds, so it might not be the same for quite some time, but do bear with me. So anyway, moving on to my reading vlog. Let me just take a sip of water because I left off the beginning of the week trying to get through God of Malice by Rina Kent as part of my book challenge, wherein I get to try out recommendations from my favorite YouTubers. So I already finished Flawless by LC Silver as a recommendation from Sarah Carolli, and this is supposed to be the recommendation from LarryReads, my other favorite YouTuber. But so far, I think my last video, my last vlog, I said that I really was not vibing this, and I still stand by it. I tried reading a couple more pages just a few hours earlier, but I really cannot get through it. And again, I am not being critical of the book. Do bear in mind that this is my first ever dark romance, so I might just not be in the right mindset for it. I might just not have the right mindset for it, rather. And maybe this is not a good starting point for dark romances. As such, I think I would give it a disservice if I continue to read this and just rate it like super low stars because I simply did not like it, or I simply was not used to dark romance. So I think that would be quite unfair for LarryReads and also for Rina Kent if I push through with this knowing that I'm not familiar with dark romance and this is my first foray into it and I was not vibing with this already. So I might stop. So again, I'm not DNFing this. I would definitely be finishing this up maybe latter part of December, but I would stop this first and move on to another dark romance. So of course it's still a book challenge. I don't want to give up on my book challenge because I couldn't get through this. So instead of going through this, I picked up another dark romance recommended by LarryReads as well in her channel, and it's called Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver. So I've actually heard a lot of people say that they love this book. In fact, even people that I normally don't associate with romance category or romance book talks or romance booktubers. So I am looking forward to this one. Maybe this is a better intro to dark romance than God of Malice. I know there are some trigger warnings in this one. There are also a lot of trigger warnings in here, by the way, so check that out if you ever decide to pick this one up. But in this one in particular, it's very curious because some of the content and trigger warnings are like crazy, out of this world. Like, it's not something you would usually find in a trigger warning list, and I'm not even kidding. This isn't like an overreaction. There's like stuff here. I'm not even gonna say it because I don't think I can actually say it in a video, but there's some stuff in here that I legit am questioning what I will be reading in this book because of it. So I'm very excited though, because I think this is a dark romance, but it is also dark humor, if I'm not mistaken. Like, it's a rom-com, but it's dark romance and dark comedy, and that's a very weird but very interesting combination for me. So I might find this much more palatable as a newbie in dark romance than God of Malice. I'll catch you up later, guys. I'll probably read this. I'll start reading this tonight, but again, I'm still recuperating from my illness, so I might not be able to finish this immediately, but I'm very excited to read this. I'll tell you guys if there are some interesting tidbits, especially the ones that are related to the content warnings. Oh my god, the way I almost wrote off dark romance as something that is not my cup of tea just because of this damn book. when all I needed was to discover this book. Oh my god, this was such a great surprise. It was such a... I was so surprised by how much I absolutely loved this book. So this is Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver, and this has been highly recommended throughout booktube, throughout booktok, actually, for like months now, because a lot of the people I follow, especially the romance girlies, has been telling the whole world to like go and grab this book, to go read this book. So I have my reservations because, one, I have never tried dark romance before, and two, the plot actually seems really weird. So this follows two serial killers, and the main characters, the two serial killers, actually have a similar MO with each other. What does that mean? That means that they have the way they kill, or their pattern of killing, is actually very similar, in the sense that they both only kill other serial killers or other actual bad people. So they're kind of like silent vigilantes in a sense, because they really want to kill people who really do kill innocent people, if that makes sense, right? So those are our main characters. Their names are, actually, I can't remember for the life of me their names, because they call each other Butcher and Blackbird. That's thus the title of the book, right? So based on here, it's Sloane and Rowan, actually. Yes. Oh my god, the way I also gasped when I read the main character, the male main character's name is Rowan freaking Kane, like the fine print by Lauren Asher, Rowan Kane. Like, oh my god, I was like, wait, am I reading like Lauren Asher's work, but with a side note of killing? What is happening? Anyway, this is such a pleasant surprise. Again, I kept on stopping telling you guys what the story is actually about. It's about two serial killers who do this like yearly competition wherein they try to track down the same serial killer, and whoever tracks him down first, or tracks him or her down first, will have first dibs on killing, basically. So that's their whole competition with each other. And of course, throughout the banters, throughout the hunt, quote unquote hunt, they start falling in love with each other. And I swear to God, the way I did not expect for me to feel giddy, for me to feel happy reading this book about freaking serial killers, okay? I am a true crime girly as well, but I get more scared reading true crime. So I tend to listen to podcasts, but this one, wow, it was so good. It's the characters themselves, like Butcher and Blackbird or Sloane and Rowan. They are more than just serial killers. The book is literally marketed, and the whole story is revolved around them serial killing, but then the way their characters are written is that they're serial killers second. Like, they're more than just serial killers. They're not, and serial killing is not their end all be all, which is something that I love personally, because I don't know, it just feels like they did not become caricatures of like a stereotypical serial killer. Like Rowan Kane, who has the same name as Rowan Kane from the fine print, as in Dreamland Billionaire series, yes. Rowan Kane is actually a chef, and he has such golden retriever energy. He just is happy to be around Sloane, and Sloane has such black cat energy. Like, she tends to keep her feelings deep inside, but deep inside she's like hyperventilating. She doesn't like being around people, but then being around Rowan makes it easier for her to be around people, to find connections with other people. And oh my freaking god, the way I love the banter in this, the way the banter made me really lol sometimes. And there's this content warning in here about, like, let's just say, eating flesh of non-animals. Yes. The way I was so scared to read it, knowing that content warning, but then actually getting to that scene and actually laughing out loud when it happens, because I don't know, there's something about this author, how she writes it, that the whole thing reads like a romantic comedy, but it just has very dark themes. Like, you get what I mean? Like, it reads so easily, you just breeze through the pages, like, you just enjoy the ride, but the concept and the theme is about serial killers. Like, I don't know, it's just so pure enjoyment. This is a dark romantic comedy, and if this is an example of a dark romantic comedy, I am in for the ride. Like, I am taking back what I said. I think this is just a wrong place to start, or maybe this type of dark romance is really not my cup of tea, but this dark romance is my freaking coffee. This is it. So if you guys have other suggestions like this, please let me know, because I absolutely love this book. I want to read more. I will definitely pick up the second book, because I think there's a second book about the next brother, Lachlan or Lachlan. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I think it's Lachlan. So it's the second book. The teaser at the end of this is about Lachlan and Lark. So I'm so freaking picking that one up. But if you guys have any other recommendations such as Butcher and Blackbird, please let me know in the comments, because I absolutely enjoyed this book. So there you have it with this video's book challenge, wherein I tried out recommendations from different booktubers. I tried out Flawless by Elsie Silver for Sarah Carolli, and then I tried out God of Malice by Rena Kent for LarryReads supposedly, but then I switched it up with Butcher and Blackbird by Bryn Weaver, and I absolutely loved Butcher and Blackbird more than God of Malice. And I also, of course, loved Flawless by Elsie Silver also, and I think this has been a very fun challenge for me. I honestly loved this book challenge. It allowed me to try out genres that I have never tried before within the romance category still, and maybe I will do another challenge wherein I actually try out other bigger genres, like for example nonfiction. I'm not a huge nonfiction girly, so maybe I'll do a challenge later wherein I try out booktuber recommendations on nonfiction books, or maybe mystery books or thriller books. And I really enjoyed it, and I loved it. If you guys have any recommendations in the dark romance category or in the cowboy or small town romance category, feel free to let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks!